You're just chillin', scrolling through your feed, and bam, there's Dave from your old job. Dude's posting pics from his third cruise this year. He dipped out of the workforce like, what? A year and a half ago. And you're over here with a calculator, sweating bullets, wondering if you can ever clock out for good. So you're sitting there like, bro, how? How is everyone living their best life like they just hit the jackpot, when all we hear is that retirement is straight up broken? Here's the real deal. They're not actually paying for it. Most retirees are funding a lifestyle that's totally unsustainable, and the way they're making ends meet, it's low-key terrifying. I'm gonna break down exactly how people are really paying for retirement, and why the math should scare the heck out of anyone who ever plans to stop working. If you want the truth, not the Instagram highlight reel, smash that subscribe button and drop a like. Let's dive in. Everyone talks about the 4% rule. You know, take our 4% of your nest egg each year and you're golden. Financial advisors swear by it. Retirees? They treat it like a mild suggestion from someone who's never actually retired. The reality, the average retiree is pulling out like 6 or 7% a year. And in those first few freedom years, some are going as high as 8 to 10%. That's not a withdrawal rate, man. That's a countdown clock to going broke. Where's all that cash going? First up, travel. People dream for 40 years about seeing the world, and the minute they retire, they're booking trips like there's a fire sale on flights. Then there's the grandkids. You'd think buying their affection would be cheap, but no college funds, presents, fancy vacations. Grandparents are bleeding cash faster than their kids did raising those same munchkins. But here's what really gets me. Lifestyle inflation hits hard at retirement. You penny pinched for decades, drove a beater, skipped trips, ate leftovers. You finally retire and suddenly you're acting like you just signed an NFL contract. New wheels, kitchen reno, country club membership, eating out for nights a week. The mindset does a 180 overnight from I gotta save every penny to I earn this. I deserve this. And look, I feel you. You did earn it. You did grind. But the math doesn't give a damn about your feelings or your sacrifices. Advisors say spend about 80% of your PI retirement income. Most retirees are blowing 91.0, sometimes more. They're living like they're still getting a paycheck, except the paycheck stopped, and now they're just burning through savings at a nightmare pace. The first 5 years of retirement are the danger zone. That's when people go absolutely wild. The money is still sitting pretty. The accounts look healthy, and retirement feels like one long vacay. It is not until you're 6 or 7 that they check the balance and have that oh crap moment. They'd be blown through a decade's worth of cash in half the time. Brissett shows that if you don't set hard spending limits in those first 5 years, you'll pretty much toast. You get used to a lifestyle you can't afford, and cutting back feels like a punishment. But here's where it gets scary, because a ton of retirees aren't even spending their own money anymore. They are tapping into stuff that feels like income, but is really just creative ways to wreck their future. The dirty little secret: a huge chunk of retirees are living off their house. Home equity lines of credit and reverse mortgages have become the go-to ATM for funding the retired life, and the numbers are nuts. About 30% of retirees have used their home's value to pay for daily living, not emergencies, not medical bills, but regular stuff their savings can't cover. Let's talk reverse mortgages. The name sounds harmless, but it's a trap. You own your house free and clear, but you're cash poor. Some company says, hey, we'll give you monthly payments based on your home's value. Sounds sweet, right? Free money. Except it's a loan. The balance grows every single month with compound interest. You're not making payments, so that interest just piles up like a snowball rolling downhill. And when you die or move out, the whole thing comes due. Your family either pays up or the bank takes the house. Let me show you how ugly this gets. Say your house is worth $400,000. You get $2,000 a month from a reverse mortgage. Feels like a raise, right? But with around 6% interest. After 10 years, you've taken $240,000, but you owe $320,000. After 20 years, you've gotten $480,000, but you owe over $600,000. Your $400,000 house is now underwater. You went from owning it to owing more than it's worth. That's not a retirement plan. That's financial self-sabotage with a friendly brochure. And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear about credit card debt. The average balance for folks over 65 is around $7,000, and it's growing faster for them than any other age group. Retirees are the fastest growing group carrying credit card debt, which is insane when you think about it. These are people on fixed incomes, with no way to earn more, paying 18 minus 20 for interest. When you're working and you get into debt, it's bad, but you can hustle, get a side gig, work overtime. When you're retired, your income is locked. Social Security ain't giving you a bonus. That credit card debt isn't a temporary slip-up. It's a permanent leak in your lifeboat. The psychological trap is brutal. Retirees tell themselves, I'll pay it off when I sell the house or when the market rebounds. Spoiler, They won't. The balance just sits and grows, eating more of their fixed budget every month, and it often starts with medical bills. Something comes up, insurance doesn't cover it all. And boom, you're slapping $3,000 on a credit card because you don't want to drain savings. Now, you're paying 20% interest on a doctor's visit. That one-time emergency becomes a monthly anchor. The core problem? People retire, but their spending mindset doesn't. They're still swiping like there's a paycheck coming on Friday, but there isn't, and there never will be again. But the scariest part isn't what they're spending on, it's what they're not preparing for. Why does everyone plan to die at 85 but live to 95? You sit with your planner, you run the numbers assuming you'll kick the bucket around 85. Seems safe, right? Except you're not planning for the average, you're planning for you. Here are the real stats. If you make it to 65 in decent health, 1 in 4 of you will live past 90, 1 in 10 will hit 95. So you budgeted for a 20-year retirement, but you might get a 30-year one. That's not a tiny use, that's a decade of expenses you never saved for. Let's say you retire at 65 with $800,000. You take out $40,000 a year. Feels fine for 20 years, right? But then you hit 85. You're still here, congrats. But your money's gone, and you might have another 10 years to fund with zero. Healthcare costs are the silent killer. Social Security gives you tiny raises each year. Healthcare inflation, that beast grows at 6-8 a year. You're falling behind every single year. And long-term care, forget about it. A nursing home runs $8,010 a month. Medicare doesn't cover it. Most folks don't have insurance for it. So when the time comes, it wipes out everything. Living longer should be a celebration, more grandkids, more sunsets, more life. But financially, every extra year is another year training resources you don't have. So what's the move? The hard truth. Most people need to cut their retirement dreams in half. That annual Euro trip, maybe make it every 3 years. The new car every 5 years, drive it till the wheels fall off. Country club, maybe just a nice gym membership instead. I know that sounds like Obama, but you know what's a big Obama? Being 82 and flat broke. Forget the 4% rule. If you want your money to last 30 years with healthcare inflation, you're looking at closer to 3.5. That means if you've got $1 million saved, you're living on $35K a year from investments, plus Social Security. Your first retirement budget is probably fantasy. Everyone does this. You think you'll spend less. You won't. You'll spend more because you have more time to spend. Take your estimate and add 20%. That's reality. Use the 3-bucket strategy. Bucket 1. Now money to years of expenses and cash. This is what you live on. Bucket 2. Soon money the next 5 to 10 years in safe stuff like bonds. Bucket 3. Later money, stocks and growth investments you won't touch for 10 plus years. This way, you never have to sell stocks in a crash to buy groceries. Plan for healthcare inflation from day one. If you budget $5,000 a year at 65, plan for $10,000 at 75 and $15,000 at 85. This isn't being negative, it's being smart. Keep a fat emergency fund, 2 years worth of expenses, liquid and ready, because stuff happens, and you can't just pick up a side hustle anymore. Set spending guardrails now. Decide, if my portfolio drops 15%, I cut fund spending by 20%. If it drops 25%, I cut by 30%. Rule speed panic every time. Shift your identity from I and this to I protecting this. Your new job is to make it last. That's not deprivation, that's strategy. The best plan? Assume you'll live to 100 and be wrong. Plan for the worst, lie. High costs, bad markets. If you die at 85 with money left over, your family will be thrilled. If you live to 95 and run out of money, you'll be devastated. Plan for devastation. Hope for thrilled heirs.